How do you feel race relations are? What's the state of race relations in Bermuda?
Well, I think race relations is a factor of economics. You know, we keep thinking it's a factor of sociology or you know, or anthropology, which means a historical background of things that have happened. I think economics is the big factor, and I think that that we have a unique society here, or a society here, which your dominant force here, first of all, your international business, predominantly controlled by the white community. You then have your other dominant force here, your mercantilism, your function, predominantly controlled by the white community. And there is less opportunity for all Bermudians, black or white, because the economy is stagnant. In fact, it's declining when you look at how many places on it are shut up. I mentioned to you before, we had these two forces, and when people could move from civil service to jobs out in the field itself, and their children, or at least, or they themselves could move to international business. That process is just gone. The bottom's falling out of it. And it wasn't the SAGE Commission to solve that problem. The SAGE Commission was a way of not solving the problem Bermuda needs to solve. It was to say, we'll pick on the civil servants, but we'll leave everything else, and this bulge down the bottom will stay the same. We'll put the civil, and they just create more unemployment, and in fact the bulge will get bigger, because civil servants do contribute towards the GDP. What we need to, so race in Bermuda is an economic factor that is perpetuated by those who feel as though there's something wrong, but they can't get their hands around it or their heads around it. So they talk about what somebody did to them 100 years ago, reparation, whatever you want to call it, or that they are being kept out of a system because they see international business and how it's going and so forth, or they see the managers of existing businesses giving curry favor to their relatives and friends and so forth, or bringing people in. And when you look at the composition of Bermuda, with the population, black versus white, the black community numerically, on a purely Bermudian basis, exceeds the white population. But when you get down to putting in the foreign population with it that live day to day in Bermuda, it's about 50-50. So in one case, they have the political power, but in another case, the economic power switches around the other way. You can tell somebody who can't pay the bills, you can say, well, go out and get a job. Go out and get a job and do what? Landscaping, when I don't understand landscaping. They brought blacks to Bermuda to landscaping before they brought Portuguese to Bermuda. And they didn't do it. It didn't fit in. It didn't fit in with their nature to do it. Now you're telling them to go ahead and do it in the 21st century. They brought in kitchen help to do the hotels. Blacks used to be in the hotels. Blacks' parents worked very hard when they were opportunities in Bermuda to make sure the kids got education to do it. Now, to solve all these problems, what we decided to do, we're going to separate these kids and so forth and give them some. So we built the Cedar Bridge, and we built the Berkeley Institute, two big, and these are all black schools. The white schools, and by far 90% of the whites, 95% of the whites went to white schools. So the issue was the black schools. And the issue was, if we only had technical back, we'd be okay. But in actual fact, the physical technical revolution has moved on. The intellectual tech, where you simply have a part in the car, you take that part out, or you put a computer to it, and you fix the car. You know, so and those people who were doing those, that could do those type of jobs, that were the people who were the craftsmen, they sent their kids to college and university, doctors, whether it's, and I can name the people who, like, it's so clear to me that that's what happened. So race relations in Bermuda is the whites seem to be sitting on a great deal of wealth, or Austin, but they're not as, the white Bermudian is not as anywhere near, because the recession knocked him for a loop. And that plays itself out on our television every night, because when you see what's going on in America, you see the same thing, and they're very vociferous about it. Now, the white community in Bermuda has now started to feel the effect, because Bermuda slowed down so much that they're doing jobs that the black Bermudian used to do. You walk around town now, you see these guys painting and doing things that used to be so black Bermudians do. So the dynamics of racism is not just a straight black-white issue. I mean, we're the most integrated society in the world in terms of marriage. It is the issue is economics, and give me a chance to do something, give me a job. Now, and that's all you're hearing the word job. Give me a job. We're going to create jobs, but no one's saying, what is it that we need to do to create the type of jobs that these people need to be able to get out of this mess that we're in? And therefore, racism will stay there, and emotions will stay there, because it's not about purely white on white or black on white, because now we're discovering it's white on white, because there are whites who are pissed off with the white community because they don't see themselves any transition to anything else. There are blacks have always been that way. That's why they've rioted and they've created havoc. And I once told a group of people, 1975, 76 or so, I said, until we have the white revolution, Bermuda would never go change. What I said is, until blacks and white partner and try to build a Bermuda that everybody feels as though we're all working together to get benefits, we'll always be this divided community. And that's what we are now. We are a divided community on economic grounds. And we're trying to use that, we keep interpreting that on sociological grounds, that somehow or the other, that is a separation. The waterfront was about at least getting people from Tuckertown, back of town, foreign or local, having an environment by which we all come together and the kids can enjoy things. We didn't even know we have no common ground for getting to know each other. So we've got some work to do in Bermuda. Nobody's going away. I'm seeing more and more people saying, I just came back from Australia, I just came back from England. In other words, they've been through the cycle. It happened back in the early 70s. They went down to New Zealand, they went down to Australia, and they all popped back to Bermuda. I'm beginning to see that process taking place again. So Bermudians aren't going anywhere. They're not. Where is there to go? So we either make this ship work, or else we'll see our standard of living just go down.